Greetings, brothers and sisters. I am so happy to see you again. Today, we will learn about the significance of Cheonshim Practice and how to do it. Although my talk today is short, I hope it will help you to understand what Cheonshim Practice is and how it is done. Cheonshim Practice is a life of Jeongsung that seeks and makes a connection to Heavenly Parent. And as we become open to hearing the voice of heaven from within our original mind, we become better and better able to live in accordance with it. It also refers to the course of practicing our faith that enables us to be cleansed of our fallen nature, which allows us to follow our original heart and mind, as Heavenly Parent originally intended. It is the practice of activities that allow us to feel and resonate with the heart of Heavenly Parent, restoring the connection that was broken due to the fall, which allows us to live in accordance with the will of heaven. The core of Cheonshim Practice is restoring our broken relationship with our Heavenly Parent so that we can become true sons and daughters. That is why true parents emphasized that our relationship with Heavenly Parent is one of parent and child. The thing I struggled with most was uncovering what the central truth of the universe is. It is the parent-child relationship. I'm not talking about the relationships between parents and children on earth. I'm talking about the relationship between God and humankind. Up until now, even those who have followed religious faith and practice did not know about this. For us to restore our parent-child relationship with Heavenly Parent, we must first find our original heart. If I want to live with a heart that emulates God's ideal, I must first build myself into a person who can resonate with God's inner heart. This means that just as the things of creation move in accordance with the laws of nature, our hearts should move in accordance with the heart of heaven. Furthermore, he continued, we need to discover the original mind, make unity between that mind and our body. If we raise up ourselves as public people, avoid dark places, and stay in the light, without even realizing it, we will attain this kind of mind-body unity. Father explained that we must master the practices that bring mind-body unity. But in the end, Father said, we are the problem. Even as I sought to follow this practice, I would tell myself, before I seek dominion over the universe, I must first seek dominion over myself. That's right, brothers and sisters. In these final days of the providence of restoration, every moment we need to focus even more on self-domination. Cheonshim means a heart that is clean and pure, like the heart of Heavenly Parent. In other words, it is a state of becoming free of the selfishness and tainted hearts that resulted from the fall. This means having a heart and mind that is clean and pure, like pure water, a heart that has been cleansed of its scars and blemishes through the sweat and tears of Jeongsung in Cheonshim Practice. As we practice Cheonshim, our way must be guided by the heart. To go the right way, you need to know the right direction, and the center of that is Cheonshim, the heart of heaven. Now, I will explain the first part of Cheonshim Practice. An essential point in Cheonshim Practice is having a heart of longing for Heavenly Parent. Therefore, this practice could be called the practice of longing. Building a feeling of deep longing for two parents by remembering past experiences together or singing songs that melt your heart will fill you with longing for them. True parents said, you must weep because you miss true parents who are in the position of the substantial God. You have to feel this heart of longing often. You have to have the mind that longs to offer them a bowl of rice or a drink of water. You have to have this kind of desperate heart of longing. This heart will cause you to cry in longing for true parents. And Father emphasized how much we must desire to meet Heavenly Parent. Going on, True Father said that if we are filled with longing, the spiritual realm will open. I couldn't sleep because I longed for my parents, and because of that longing, the spiritual realm opened up. This fact presents a great revolution in the religious world. Ah, Jew. When we follow Cheonshim practice, as we see, hear, and feel Heavenly Parent with us, our hearts will want to earnestly call out, Mother and Father, to Heavenly Parent. Through this process, as we practice, we will resonate with the heart of Heavenly Parent and come to share the sadness and grief caused by the suffering and sins of humankind. God is very close to you and cares for each of you more than anyone else does. In the world, we have learned that the love of our parents is greater than anyone else's. But God's love is bigger and deeper than that. It is deeper and greater than any human love in the entire world. As you are embraced in the love of God, you must call out to God as a parent, and you must be able to comfort God's heart. To become true sons and daughters of God, you must be able to feel and resonate with that deepest heart and be able to say, I also feel your sorrow.
엄마야 누나야 가면 산다 엄마야 누나야 강변 살자 들에는 반짝이는 그 모래빛 뒷눈 박는 레페 우리 마야 나야 강변 살자 누나야 강변 살자 그래는 반짝이는 그 모래빛
Cheonshim is the world headquarters for Jeonsung and the place where we can resonate with the heart of heaven. Through Cheonshim Practice, as we long for Heavenly Parent, we are able to find and connect to our own inner self. By following this process, we begin to be able to hear the voice of our inner self. Father spoke about this. You should become a person who is able to hear your own inner voice 100%. What is the starting point to work on this? If you are asking, my mind is corrupted, my body is corrupted, where can I start? You need to start by cleaning out your mind and heart. You need to find the true master of the universe, and it is your own inner self who can lead you to the true master of the universe. In order to find this place in our mind and connect to our inner self, we must meditate. True Mother shared her experience of practicing deep meditation every day. Every day when I wake up at dawn, I start my day with prayer and meditation, thinking deeply about what I will be doing for people during the coming day. As you practice meditation, you can observe and become aware of the thoughts and condition of your inner self. We also need to continue this contemplation throughout the day until the sun goes down. If we are able to connect deeply to our inner self through meditation, we will not even notice the passing of time. This kind of meditation practice develops your spirituality as if you were opening the door to the mind and plowing the fields of your mind. If you repeat the Cheonshim practice again and again, you will find yourself connecting more and more deeply to your inner mind, and you will reach a state of ecstasy. As the level of your contemplation through meditation deepens, your notion of self begins to fade, and you finally come to the position where you realize there is no notion of me. As you practice, you must seek for the realm of selflessness. When you go beyond the state of being conscious of your surroundings and enter a state of selflessness, you can have mystical, transcendental prayers. When this happens, your antenna, which feel the heart of Heavenly Parent, will be fully active, and you will be able to move on to an even more sensitive state of resonance. When you completely forget yourself and come into contact with the heart of Heavenly Parent, you will feel a new power coming to you. You have to seek a state of ecstasy. You must find a way to reach the state in which you are in a calm place and your antennae are completely active, and you can forget about yourself and connect completely to what God is feeling. Your Cheonshim practice will develop as you develop these kinds of steps. When a person who is following Cheonshim practice reaches this state of resonating with the heart of Heavenly Parent, we call this Cheonshim resonating prayer. In physics, when we say that something is resonating, it means that an object has matched the frequency of vibration of its surroundings, with the result that its movements become larger without requiring any additional effort. If you reach a point of resonance so that you can shed tears as you feel the heart of God, the entire spirit world is mobilized. To mobilize the spirit world, you must be able to shed tears that will move the heart of God. From that point on, the spirit world opens up. This is the principle. True Father said, when the door of God's heart and the door of the human heart are perfectly aligned, that is when we can truly experience the heart of God and know what God is feeling. In other words, resonance occurs when our human heart and Heavenly Parent's heart are aligned. Conversely, if our human heart is not in tune with the heart of heaven, then we cannot experience resonance. When we resonate with Heavenly Parent's heart, we experience amazing power. So Father has told us, if you offer Jeonsung, God's grace will come. If you lead a life of prayer, amazing and extraordinary power will come. Aju. Through Cheonshim practice, we can achieve 3 kinds of perfection in our lives. we can achieve our individual perfection, the perfection of our families, and the perfection of our loving dominion over the created world. After we receive the blessing, this practice becomes a part of our lives. In our families, we practice this as we develop our relationships with our spouses, the relationships between parents and children, and the relationships between siblings. And reaching beyond the family, this practice develops further as we expand church traditions through our church life and our relationships with our neighbors in society. And with Cheonshim 1, we have a place where our spirituality can develop even further. Family values are the most important thing in everything we do. After receiving the blessing from two parents, we are following Cheonshim Practice to realize the ideal of one human family under Heavenly Parent, working to realize true families and build the kingdom of heaven filled with true families. We strive to treat our neighbors like brothers and sisters with the heart of a parent and the perfection of Heavenly Parent. We practice this by building good relationships in our families, following the path of Hyojam. This means that the fundamental place for Cheonshim Practice is the family, where parents and children live together and brothers and sisters learn how to love each other. Finally, the perfection of Cheonshim Practice is the perfection of love. Coming to possess a heart of Cheonshim, which is the heart of Heavenly Parent, means we live our life with a love which takes responsibility for our world and those around us. The perfection of Cheonshim Practice is achieved through practice and completing our human responsibility, and it extends beyond the individual level to include our relationship with the natural world and our relationships in the family, society, and world we live in. True parents describe the scope of this love in three ways. First, it is the responsibility of human beings to become the subject of free, true love through self-discipline and self-control, while giving thanks to God for the freedom of love. People do not fulfill their responsibility to be people of love because of any laws or outside pressure, but rather by self-discipline and self-determination in a lifelong relationship with God. The second is a sense of responsibility for others. The third is the responsibility of love for children. The most precious responsibility of parents for their children does not end with nurturing them externally, but also includes providing the vital elements of true love that will perfect their spirituality. Aju. Beloved brothers and sisters, once you start regular Cheonshim practice, it must spread out from you to your family, your church, and Cheonshim 1. Today, I have introduced only part of Cheonshim practice, but if you make even a small and constant effort to devote yourself to this without giving up, you will experience tremendous spiritual growth. True Mother has told us, if you pray at Cheonshim 1 and put your heart into it, your wishes will surely come true. Aju. Finally, I would like to conclude my introduction to Cheonshim practice with some words from True Mother. Our closest teacher is our heart. If we find ourselves in a difficult situation or something confusing arises, we can ask our heart. God, who loves us, is there within our hearts, and we must be able to hear that true voice. We must learn to listen to the voice of God in our hearts. We need to cultivate ourselves and go to a place where we can hear the whispers of our hearts and the voice of God. Aju. Heavenly Parent, who always pursues good, resides within our original heart. So if you clean out, smoothen, and polish your heart and mind, you will be able to hear the voice of Cheonshim, the heart of Heavenly Parent. I hope that all of you who have listened to this lecture today will devote yourselves to Cheonshim practice and live a healthy and happy life with true parents, guided by the voice of heaven. Thank you.